right, I want to call this meeting of the Simpson County Fiscal Court to order. I ask you if you would, you join me in a word of prayer, and then we'll have the pledge to the flag. Heavenly Father, we do come before you today to thank you and give you praise for this day that you've given us. And Lord, most of all, we want to thank you for salvation through Jesus Christ. Lord, we just ask you to lead us and guide us during this meeting, that the things we say and do would be in accordance to your will. Lord, we just ask you to be with those that are serving in the military, Lord, especially with all the conflict that's going on around the world. We just ask your protection on those folks. And Lord, we just give you praise and thanks in all things. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome our guest here with us today. Glad to have y'all. We'll try not to bore you with the meeting too badly. Gentlemen, if we had the opportunity to review the minutes of our October 17th regular court meeting, I need a motion and a second to approve those minutes. Got a motion by Marty, a second by Jeffrey. Any question, discussion, or changes? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Next is to approve the minutes of our October 17th regular joint city-county meeting. I need a motion and a second to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty.
Second.
Second by Jeffrey. Any question, discussion, changes? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Next is we just have to have a vote that we acknowledge receiving the Ambulance Service District 2023 tax rate. I believe that this rate is unchanged, or is, I think they took the compensating rate actually.
That's right.
Yes, they did. I'm on the ambulance board. It stayed the same.
Yeah. So we just need a motion and a second to acknowledge that we've received that tax rate in our office.
So moved, Mason.
Got a motion by Myron, second by Marty. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, we're getting down toward, I can't believe we're already getting toward the end of the year, 2023. It's unbelievable. But, so we have about 5 different boards here that we need to make sure that we get reappointments because these board terms expire at the end of the year. So we'll do these, some of the boards have 2, some just have 1, but we'll do them by board. Is that acceptable, Counselor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have the Ambulance Board to reappoint Scott Brown to a 2-year term that will run through 12/31/25. And then Brandon Duffer had served an unexpired term of another member, and now he would be appointed to a full 2-year term to expire 12/31/2025.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty to appoint these 2 gentlemen to the Ambulance Board.
Second.
Second by Scott. Any question, discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next is the Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustments. We need a motion to reappoint Chris Coomer to a 4-year term that would run through 12/31/2027.
So moved.
Got a motion by Myron.
Second.
Second by Jeffrey. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next is the Planning and Zoning Commission. Need a motion and a second to reappoint John Mayer to a 4-year term that would expire 12/31/2027.
So moved.
Motion by Jeffrey.
Second.
Second by Marty. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries also. Next is the Simpson County Extension Office Board. Have 2 appointments there. One would be to reappoint David Carver to a 3-year term, which would expire 12/31/26, and then to reappoint Constance Blaine to a 3-year term, which would also expire 12/31/2026.
So moved.
Got a motion by Scott.
Second.
Second by Myron. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And finally, the Parks Board, there are two appointments there that are expiring at the end of the year. One would be to reappoint Chuck Fleming to a 3-year term through 12/31 of '26. The other is to appoint Chris Davidson to a 3-year term that would expire 12/31/26.
So moved.
Got a motion by Jeffrey, a second by Scott. Any question, discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. Mr. County Clerk, we might need you for a minute. We have to have a motion to approve the county clerk budget amendment, and we'll let the county clerk bring that explanation. And we need to be conscious of his time because he has a busy job today.
The budget amendment is just for refund checks. We have a allocated amount that we're allowed to get in refund checks. We're about to exceed that due to our tax sale. We had to send a lot of checks back, or refund a lot of people when they couldn't purchase property. So I think we've added $10,000 to it just to amend that. And that'll finish out the year, should be fine. So typically we don't have to give $150,000 in refund checks for our tax sale, but we did this year due to some properties that weren't able to be sold.
So the property, I
So when
found, it's only $10,000, I'm just trying to understand.
yeah, so we just need 10,000 to get through the rest of the year, so we just added it. When the tax sale happened, the companies that come in to buy them, they have to put down so much money to where we'll sell it to them. Well, those properties were removed before the start of the sale. So when they're removed, they can't buy them anymore, so we have to refund them. We just give them their money back. We'll have to write it in a check, comes in our account. And goes
So
right
if a property is listed as for sale on a tax lien,
Yeah.
and it's on that list, but somebody comes in and pays it off.
Pays for it, or
Pays it
yeah.
off.
Or they file bankruptcy.
Yeah, in this case, it was bankruptcy.
If you think a little bit, you probably have a pretty good idea who it
Yeah.
might be.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I ain't worried about who it was, I was just trying to figure out the process.
yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
You got a motion by Marty to approve this budget amendment for the county clerk's budget.
Second.
Second by Myron. Any other question or discussion? All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Clerk, you have a good day. I'm sure y'all will be busy.
I hope it is uneventful.
Yeah. All right, next, gentlemen, if you've seen on the portal, the Scotty's contracting bid for the Kentucky 100 widening project, this is in conjunction with the Trader Joe's project where they agreed to widen and have a turn lane out to where the entrance of Trader Joe's is with Grace Road. And we received an economic development grant from the state in the amount of like $2.4 million. If you see in the notes there, the estimate by the engineer was at $1.75 million, and with a 10% contingency, they expected maybe $1.93 million. The bid come in, there was only one bid received. Scotty's was the only bidder that submitted, but the bid come in at 1.73, which was actually lower than what the engineer had estimated. And the engineer's recommendation was that we accept this bid and move on.
Is that going from Garvin Lane to Grace Road?
Yeah, it'll be widened from Eddings Road to Grace Road. But the $2.4 million wasn't just 100. It was the improvements on Eddings Road and 100 and a lot of other things involved in it.
It just seems 1.7 million seems like a lot of money to do that little stretch.
Well, it's a lot of utility movement.
Okay.
Having to move utilities and such as that. And yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So we need a motion and a second to accept that contract and authorize the county judge to sign it.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty, second by Jeffrey. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, gentlemen, it's on your portal, the traffic light agreement, the KYTC traffic light agreement. This information came in, I don't remember now whether it was late Friday or first thing Monday morning, but we need to get this on too. It's an agreement with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for the traffic light at Trader Joe's. If y'all recall, having a traffic light at their main entrance on 100 was one of the requirements that they asked for to locate here, and the state agreed to do it, but we have to absorb the cost, and which primarily will be through that grant. But as you see in the letter, if the grant money doesn't, the industrial authority has agreed to cover, I think it's $62,000, but at any rate, the county has to sign the agreement to proceed. So we need a motion and a second to authorize the county judge to sign this agreement and have this traffic light installed.
So that money was not actually in that, the road widening bid, that traffic light.
The traffic light wasn't part of the road widening project. This is a separate cost. But it's all in the same
Yeah,
development plan.
so moved.
Got a motion by Myron? Second by Scott. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next is we need to adopt a resolution authorizing the judge executive as the applicant agent for a grant process. This is in relation to the Coomer Road hazard mitigation. So this would be resolution number 2023-11-07-AAG. And this is just stating that I am the duly recognized agent for Simpson County and authorize me to sign this resolution and receive this hazard mitigation money.
So moved, Mason.
Got a motion by Myron. Second by Jeffrey. Any question, discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And then finally, now that we've established that I'm the authorized applicant's agent, we need a motion and a second to approve the Coomer Road hazard mitigation documents and authorize the county judge to sign those documents so we can receive this money and do the work out there.
So moved.
Government at its best, Scott. Got a motion by Myron? Second by Jeffrey. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, next is to approve a cash transfer of $38,500 from the ARPA fund to the general fund. And if we're kind of jumping ahead, but if you've seen in the bills and claims, there's a claim in there for this amount for the initial draw on the engineering work that's been done, and it can all be paid from the ARPA fund, but we can't pay that money out of the ARPA fund. It has to be transferred to the general fund in order to pay it.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty,
Second.
second by Myron. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Then we need a motion and a second to approve the budget transfers as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Marty. Any question, discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Finally, no, not finally, but next to bills and claims. Had a chance to review those. We need a motion and a second to approve the bills and claims as presented. Got a motion by Jeffrey,
Second.
second by Myron. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Now, finally, we need a motion and a second to approve our October 31, 2023 financial statement authorize the county judge and the county treasurer to sign it, and this would be approved subject to audit.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty,
Second.
second by Myron. Any question, discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, just a few items I have on the list here is, obviously, as I said, we're getting toward the end of the year. The Christmas parade's coming up December the 2nd. It's the first Saturday in December. They're doing it at 4:30, and I was contacted to see if we were going to participate. So y'all just let me know if y'all want to, do y'all want to build a float?
No.
No. Do you want to ride on Myron's trailer?
Possibility.
Possibly. Depends on who's driving.
Yeah.
Depends if it's raining or not.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
If
we
it's
do
covered.
need to have a discussion. Maybe after the meeting, if we got just a minute, we can just chat and see what y'all all want to do. But they did call and request, are we doing this?
What date was that, Mason?
December 2nd.
First
Now-
Saturday in December.
Now, Nicole, I'm gonna need your help here, because I meant to look at this again this morning, but you see how many gray hairs I have, and so I can't remember some of this. Christmas and New Year holidays, we need to establish something here, and so we went through it, we poured over the administrative code, because the administrative code says that on any holiday that falls on a Saturday, we would take that holiday on Friday, and any holiday that falls on Sunday, we would take that holiday on Monday.
Correct.
Well, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day are both holidays that are in our administrative code recognized. But Christmas Eve and Day is Sunday and Monday, and so is New Year's Eve and Day Sunday and Monday. So the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve on Sunday, we would typically take as a Monday, but there's already a holiday on Monday. So the discussion was just to make it Tuesday, correct? So since we'll just move it the next day out.
And you can do it Tuesday or Friday.
Well, I think the consensus was kind of Tuesday,
Okay.
because nobody wanted to have Christmas Monday and then come to work on Tuesday. They'd rather work Friday.
You know, we'd probably be better off just take that whole darn week off, because they're gonna be.
Well, I suggested that, but, and I'm good with that, but, I don't know that the court would be good for, I mean, you think about this, I mean, I think, you know, if we do that, we'd have to pay people without them taking their leave. Then we would have all the, deputies and firefighters and correctional officers that would all get the additional holiday pay. We'd have to come in with a budget amendment if we do that.
I understand,
Yeah,
but
okay.
if they're taking off Monday and Tuesday, they're
Yeah.
only gonna be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the next week they're getting off on Monday and Tuesday. So, I'm just saying that 3 days out there's probably not gonna be a lot accomplished anyway, so.
I'm not disagreeing with that, and I'm not opposed to taking off if y'all want to do a budget amendment and pay everyone. Somebody grab the defibrillators. Myron just about went down.
So do we need a motion?
Well, now Mason, you're talking about a guy who works half a day on Christmas, so
That's right.
He's like Charles Miller. How do you make $1,000 a day? I quit at dinner.
yeah.
That's right.
I don't know, Counselor. Do we need? Do I have the authority to just say this, or is it best as a motion of the court to say we're going to recognize basically the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve holiday on the Tuesday preceding the Christmas and New Year's holiday?
Probably, if you look at it, I think there's 2 days you have to give, and if you're deviating from that,
Then it needs to be a vote of the court.
correct.
All right, so then I need a motion and a second to authorize Christmas Eve holiday to be recognized on Tuesday, December 26th, and New Year's Eve holiday to be recognized on Tuesday, January 2nd.
So moved.
Got a motion by
Second.
Marty, a second by Myron. You'll second it since we're not giving the whole week off?
That's right.
Okay. All right. Any other question or discussion?
That was Chandler and Thurman.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. There are a couple of Veterans Day services this Saturday. By the way, this Saturday is Veterans Day. We greatly appreciate all of our military veterans. There will be a service at 11 o'clock at the post office, but then there's another service that afternoon at 3 o'clock on the courthouse square, where there'll be some recognition of the veterans, and hopefully there'll be a pretty good gathering at 3 o'clock down here on the square this Saturday for that. Another request, Chief, you're going to come up and present some things. I'm going to let you talk about this Knox Box 2 when you come up.
Okay.
All right. Then real quick, Adam, I might need you've got some information on your portal from, and I'll probably say this wrong, Trenzio, I don't know how you say it, but it's a cybersecurity. You know, we've got to get we're working hard to do this cybersecurity in a manner that CAECO says, okay, you're good, we're going to continue your insurance. Adam, you probably need to come up and explain what this Trenzio can do, will do, and the thing of it is there's no cost to it.
Me and Bob sit in on, I think last Friday, we sat in on a little meeting. Trenzio is a third-party consulting firm, but one of the CISA things is get a third-party recommendation. They're a company, they're going to try to sell us something, but they're offering it for free. We don't have to buy their product that they give us. They'll present it to us, and if it's something that we think is worthwhile, we can look at it. It's a logging platform, but it also will give us an apples to apples. If you guys recall the Pisces program that we did, I think about over a year ago now, this is what a paid Pisces would pay. So we can sort of, it'll give us an apples to apples of what we're getting for free from a partnership with local colleges. So it's a free service. It was offered to us. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have somebody else take a look and see what you're doing. So
what is the length of the free trial period?
they do an assessment. So I think they pull a week of logs. So they basically can pull our logs for about a week, and then they give us a report of whatever. So
it's just one free assessment.
It's just one free assessment.
They take a look at it.
They look about a week. So it's about a week of activity.
And there's no obligation to
Correct.
purchase anything.
What do we have now?
You talking about we just have antivirus on our computers. That's really what we've got. This is just more looking at what's open, where our traffic is flowing from our outside from our building and back into our building through the internet.
This is a crazy world I do not understand. I don't understand the cyber traffic.
So you recommend we do this?
It's not worth the shot.
That's all I need to know, because I know nothing about it. I do good to turn them on.
Yeah, it helps identify risk. I mean, they're going to tell us where the problems are, and what they're going to do is they're going to tell us, okay, this is what our solution could help you with this, and if it's something we think is worthwhile and the price is right, we can look at it. If not, oh well, we know what our risks are and that we need to look at, if any.
Okay.
I would hope it wouldn't be any, but
So I guess really we need a motion and a second to have this free assessment. I don't know, I've looked over that paperwork. I don't recall that it needed a signature, but in the event that it does need a signature, we just need a motion and a second to allow.
Do they do all departments or just here?
we're gonna do this building, and I think we're gonna do all of our county. We're not gonna worry about the clerk's office because there's literally his phones. They're all state managed, but we'll probably do all county properties that have.
So the sheriff jail. Here, road department, I don't know, we have anything at road department?
Road department could, because they're on one of the new one. Bill's all on his island over there. That would, just those.
Okay.
So we need a motion and a second to allow Trenzio to do this assessment, and authorize the judge to sign any necessary paperwork.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty?
Second.
Second by Jeffrey. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Myron, you have anything?
No report.
Scott?
No, sir.
Jeffrey?
Get out and vote.
Get out and vote. That's some good advice. Marty?
We left that joint meeting last Tuesday, we talked about, we were going, talk about the next step on that, fire department on the full time. Maybe it'd be a good time for us to, enter into talks with the city about the county having full ownership of the fire department instead of leasing it from them.
Yeah.
And then if, we have any extra ARPA money, maybe we could use that to go ahead and build out. If we owned it, we could use some, if we have extra ARPA money left over from building the clerk's building, that'd be one thing we could use it for, to go ahead and build on and get prepared to do the 4 or the 5 full-time in the future.
Yeah.
We need to go ahead and, I don't think we need to stop now that we've got that done. We need to keep talking about it, so.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you would like to talk to Kenton about that, or we just wait till the next joint city-county meeting, but I think it should be something that we.
Well, I'm good to start kind of having the conversation along the way, not just bring it up cold at the next joint meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like I say, I think that would be our next step, is trying to getting that out of a lease situation into a county ownership situation and go that route.
I agree. I'll get on that.
All right.
Counselor, you have anything?
No, sir.
I think the sheriff and the clerk are all both at the voting precincts, watching what's going on. Anything with the jail?
No, sir.
Bob?
This is very, very quick. If y'all recall, a few months ago, you guys voted along with the city to transition off of the mass notification system that we've been using called AlertSense to the new one. What's it called, Adam? Everbridge. In the next couple of weeks, there'll probably be some information coming out on what we currently have, telling everybody what they need to do to make sure they're signed up for the next one. It behooves anybody that wants to get emergency information, preparedness information, that kind of stuff, to get signed up, just to make sure.
Can we put together some information on how everyone can sign up, and let's get it out on all social media platforms?
Yeah, that's
on
what
our
we're doing.
website?
Yep, that's what, we're gonna put together a little package, put a YouTube thing together and put it out on everybody's social media, so.
Okay.
That'll be put together. I'll be working on that this week to probably go out next week. And we're supposed to go live with Everbridge December 1st.
Okay. Very good. Bobby, you have anything?
Give you an update on Kenny Perry Bridge. They, of course, they've torn half of it out, the east half. They have the footers poured. They've actually started setting pipes yesterday. So, but what I wanted to mention to you, in those plans, overall plans on the approaches of it, the southwest side called for moving the water line, which we came to a solution to kind of adapt that approach where we won't have to move that water line, which will save us quite a bit of money. But we're going to look at the approach on the other side, because it was so far up the hill they've hit solid rock. And I don't really know, we're questioning how much of that we need to do. So we're not talking about changing anything on the structure of the bridge. That's what the permit's for, and it'll stay the same. But I thought the next meeting, maybe I'll have some figures where that project will probably come out quite a bit less than what we anticipated, if everybody's agreeable with what we want to do. And it's nothing to do with the bridge itself, it's just the approaches to it.
So you're thinking you might make it less of a slope on that?
No, the engineer designed like about 75 or 80 foot up that hill past the end of the structure to be cut out with concrete. Well, they're in rock. So in order for us to do that, they're going to have to cut out all that rock. Really, I don't really know the reasoning. There shouldn't be any reason to have to do all that work, I think.
Okay.
And so if we can do without it, they'll just shave that off the cost.
Okay.
Be quite a bit of concrete saved, so just the approaches is what we're looking at. Okay.
If y'all hadn't seen the new mowing work either, they were out on Barn School Road yesterday trimming next to the field with those harvesting soybeans in.
I was through there yesterday afternoon.
They're doing
It cuts a lot cleaner.
They're doing a really good job with it. Everything you're doing looks really good.
The company actually wants to use us as a demo next week for the state and some other counties, so.
Oh.
Cities.
Cool.
Good deal. All right, Chief?
Hey, you bring a big presentation.
Yeah.
Every time he comes up here, he brings a folder.
Now, we can't stay here all day, Chief.
Back again.
Voting closes at 6 o'clock tonight.
All right, I'll keep it brief. All right, so the Knox box, did you,
Yeah,
yeah. Did you have an ordinance in front of you, or
do what now?
did you have an ordinance or something in front of you? or
No, I
we
do
just-
not.
Just a discussion
It's just a
on?
discussion.
Okay, gotcha. I was just
Just
clarifying.
bring these guys up to speed on
Cool,
what you're talking
okay.
about, what you think is needed, and then we'll work
Okay.
on the ordinance.
So, I talked to Carter a couple of weeks ago about putting something into the planning and zoning regulations. So what it is, there is a company, it's called Knox. They make a box, it's called a Knox box. So what it is it's like a little mini safe. It's really hard. It mounts to a surface, close to a doorway. We have access to that, so we have a key that is just for Simpson County, so I can't use it elsewhere. Nobody can come here and use their key, so it's for fire department access. So we put a key in, we open a little door, and inside of that, there would be the keys or whatever we needed to the, that facility that we're at. So where that's advantageous to us is, fire alarms at 3 o'clock in the morning, and, we don't have a key holder coming, we have to make decisions. If I suspect that building's on fire, obviously we're going in, but, we truly never know if we can't get in. So we assume a lot of liability if it burns down an hour after we leave. So to try to head up, some of those things off, I was asking about putting an ordinance in, just requiring new construction or anything that would require for a company to pull a building permit, if they're doing an addition, a change of use, whatever. We're not looking to necessarily go back and retro. We've been doing this just on a voluntary basis for, I don't know, probably 10 years. Just when companies come in and say, hey, most everybody is already accustomed to it. I mean, it's a especially in the bigger cities. I mean, pretty well everybody does it. It just gives us a lot quicker access. We don't have to sit and wait on somebody to, come and let us in.
And this would be for industrial and commercial construction.
So we were looking at, yes, industrial applications, commercial applications. There was a little bit on the residential side, but not like the R1s. This was more very specific to, and my terms may be off just a smidge, but the type of townhomes that have a common area where you open the front door that would normally, stay locked or whatever. But kind of like with the town, I don't know if you've been to the town square, that door is locked, but, we don't have access to all those apartments. So when, their alarm goes off, we just got to stand there and hope somebody will come down. Well, most of those residents don't because they're just used to the alarm going off. So, it becomes problematic. So there are, and I forget which, but these are not your normal single family. These would be, where there's a dwelling, like hotels,
So
things like that.
it wouldn't apply to any residential that
No.
had its own entry door?
It would not.
Its own out exterior entry door?
These would be, like the commercial type, yes. So if we're not talking about like a motel that has entry doors, right? We would be talking more, there is a common door that leads to all these others that the residents have access to, right? That is a locked door. Like, we need access to that door so we can get to that apartment. If that makes sense to you.
But you can't get in that apartment, is what you're saying.
No, I mean, not today. I mean,
Right.
unless unless we do have some people will put in keypad and all that. The problem is, we do have several that put their own keypads in because they wanted to do that. But, if they change the keypad and they fail to notify us, then, we're back to square one. So that's what the Knox box, and again, I've talked to Carter about it a little bit, and we might have to clean it up just a smidge, for some of the
So
languages
would that be
and
on a
stuff.
volunteer basis, or is that gonna be an ordinance?
No, we're asking to mandate it on anything coming in, new construction for industrial, commercial, or if they go back and an existing building has a change of occupancy, or, something where they're gonna add on and it requires them to pull a permit, then the new regulation whenever you apply for a permit, I mean, you get that regulation pack, we were just gonna add it into that. Yeah, that was the goal.
And it may, Myron, it may be, each individual industry or commercial building may determine how many they need, but you're talking about a cost of $300 to $400 per box roughly.
So like the mint, you would have an access way to get into the mint.
Yeah, even though they are open 24 hours, but yes, and again, I'm not been out to the hotel portion of it exactly, so I don't know, but
But that's what.
they're really open 24 hours. It's a little less of a concern unless they are, I don't know, they may shut down for Christmas or something. I don't know those, but we have problems, I wouldn't think they would, but we do have issues where, mostly like warehouses where there's, they work first, second shift, but not third. And then those people, they have a call list, so those, a contact, well, those people over time change or whatever. Or they just blatantly told us, we're not coming. Well, then it's like, it just puts us in an awkward spot. We need to have access to go in because, so that's what this is about.
Businesses.
Yeah, these are just businesses, that have fire suppression, systems that,
I would think most business and industry coming in would not have a problem with that being a part of the.
Oh, yeah, well, here's the deal, again, if we have, if I believe there is a chance, we should go in and check it out. So you can spend, $400 and buy a locks box, or you can spend, $1,000 and buy a new door every time. So, most everybody's been really receptive to it. I don't know that I've had anybody that's just said, no, we're not going to do that. So, but again, most everybody is accustomed to it. It is a lot of communities, around the country do it. So these out-of-town builders are pretty well used to it.
Well, the question is here is really, is anyone adamantly opposed to it? Because if not, I think it's something we explore how we draft the ordinance, how we put it together, because we'll have to do this jointly with the city if it involves planning and zoning regs.
On that note, and again, I don't know this part, we'll have to work all that out, but when I talked to Carter, I think he said, I believe it was a text amendment, and then he could just do that and it would cover both, but that would be for y'all to figure out. I don't know that we necessarily have to do a separate one, but those are all legal things.
I would want the city fathers to just belt and suspenders. I want if we're doing this, and I think both bodies need to sign off on it. What I was going to say a moment ago was, if you're limiting this to industrial and commercial buildings, that's one thing, but when you start talking residential buildings, that's another, and there are other legal issues.
Sure.
And I'm just saying, I think you're going to have more issues if you're starting, we're going to need access to people's, where they live. But I'm just saying, if you're talking strictly commercial and industrial, that's one thing, but there are more issues that arise from residential.
So let me clarify, just so we are clear. We're talking about like commercial rental properties, like the one across the street. There is a door that is locked based on that, right? Once we get into that, then each apartment has its own door, right?
I understand.
Just make sure we're on the same page.
I've run into some of those back when I was campaigning.
Sure.
I had to get through the outside door so I could knock on apartments inside.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but I want to make sure, because people are going to be listening to this, it's going to be on Facebook. I imagine there are going to be folks like, well, I don't want them coming into my, having access to my place.
Yeah. We wouldn't have access to anybody's interior living conditions.
We need to make sure of that, Chief, is my point.
Yeah.
Because you can say that and that's what you mean, but that's not what's going to get out there if you're not careful and get ahead of that, okay? Yeah. That is my concern, is making sure, darn sure that everybody knows we're not talking, residential places where going into people's houses.
All right. Well, they heard it here first, right
Well,
there.
Well, you'll have to be part of helping draft it, so you can take care
well,
of that.
I just want to say
There
that
is a term,
there
and
is
I forget.
concern there. And if-
I
but if-
apologize,
but
because I don't know what the residential, which R that falls under, but Carter does, because we had that conversation, and we
Well-
identified 2 or 3 of those residential type places that it would affect.
Well, this,
But we
this,
can
here
get with
again,
him
this is
and
not
come back
anything
to
that's
that
gonna happen
later.
today. What I really need to know is anyone in here adamantly opposed to even pursuing how this would look and how we would put it together? Okay. Go to
Okay,
your next
so,
topic.
the next topic was, you guys saw on the portal, we loaded up on Thursday, there was a proposal, for the renovations at the station that we know we're gonna have to do in order to start housing people there 24 hours. So we had put together just an estimate on the cost. That money is already in the budget. We budgeted it last time, so I'm not asking was not asking for any money for that portion of it. Since then, again, that was Thursday, but since then, talking to Bill, we have received a quote, and that's what this information here is. We'll pass those down for me, please, sir. This is a quote to contract a lot of the work that we were going to try to do ourselves. And there is on the very front, this JMD Construction, they have put together a quote for them to do the framing, insulation, the drywall, paint, trim, all those type of things. You can see that number there, the 9689. So either way, we know we're going to have to do the demo ourselves, and Bill and I, we're going to do the electric ourselves as well. The HVAC, we have a quote on that as well. That's the $1,800. None of us are comfortable doing that. The door locking system, the materials was $1,644. As I understand, Adam, is Bill going to do we were going to take care of that in-house as far as doing the labor. Something similar to what we got going on here, but Adam will have to speak to that because it's not my forte, but it's the same system and then that we have here. So out of that cost, this is the total cost project. We had already budgeted $10,000 to cover it. So you can see the number there is $14,900. I'm asking for an additional $10,000. $5,000 of that is going to go to cover this. The other $5,000 will be to cover, we've got to do number one, we're going to have to do some furnishing for the room. So we have to buy, beds and, little tables or whatnot. So for furnishings, we're going to have to reroute some of our, say, Wi-Fi stuff, our servers and Cat5 cables, and some of that stuff is all got to be relocated. So the cost of those materials as well. I don't know, I think there was a camera, just some smaller, but I believe we can cover that cost for about an additional for $5,000. So I'm asking for $10,000 added in my budget to cover this.
That would be for this construction and the things you're talking about.
So we already have the 10 that we budgeted last budget cycle that is in there. I'm asking for an additional 10. Again, 15 will cover the construction and all, and the 5 is gonna be, what we have to do for furnishings. And there's some incidentals, and I just happened to think about this morning, we've got to add 3 more smoke detectors for, there's gonna be little things like that that are gonna pop up as we're building, I'm sure. But I just need that money's moved over into our
Nicole, is there a place
construction line
to
item.
pull this or just from cash reserve?
Yeah, we'll just pull it from the reserves into that,
So, and I don't know, because it's totally up to y'all.
the fire equipment.
The original money that we budgeted was in that 741. That was the one that we put everything together.
Yeah.
If there's enough money in there, we can just take it out of that, but if you need to move it, whatever.
Yeah, we can just go with that, and then if we need to replenish it, we can.
Why don't we do that? Just
Yeah.
take this additional 10,000 out of that capital reserve line, and then we'll just see what happens as we go through the rest of the year. Can y'all log that in your memory banks to know that if we hit the capital, I'm sure you do. I'm counting on Myron on this one. But, seriously, all seriousness, I think that's probably the best and cleanest thing, is just move it from that line, because we may not use the rest of that. But do we need to include that as a budget transfer?
Not right now, no.
No, not right, not till we're ready to do it, okay.
If everybody's good on that, on this, what you're seeing, we're gonna pull the trigger on it. One reason we did was because of time frame. So we originally thought we were gonna be 2 months out getting a drywaller. Well, this gentleman can start next week. So we're trying to get, and again, we didn't really talk about this in our last meeting on a start date. I need the monies there available January 1 for personnel. Are we gonna be ready January 1? Honestly, probably not. We've still got a lot of work to get done between then as far as, applications and all that. Plus, we've got to, make sure we get this project finished and all that. But that was one thing I think we all kind of assumed, I didn't verbalize, but.
Yeah, well, once we get to the point that we've actually hired personnel, Nicole will know what we need to do.
Yeah, there'll have to be a payroll adjustment, at some point right around that time frame. But if we're good with it, we're gonna pull the trigger on it, and I believe we're starting tomorrow.
Let's go.
All right, I like it. Thank you, guys.
Don't get it done, Mason's got a real big house.
No, I do not have a real big house.
Thanks for offering, dude.
Bill, do you have anything? You're good? All right, gentlemen, I need a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810, paragraph 1F, discussion, move my post-it note here, discussions which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee, and paragraph G, discussions between a public agency and a representative of a business entity, and discussions concerning a specific proposal, if open discussions would jeopardize the siting, retention, expansion, or upgrading of the business.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty,
Second.
second by Jeffrey. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move across the hall for the